Oh. He's not ready to come in. Nice chrome king. Today I want to show folks how to properly rig up a bobber rod for a float presentation, usually with eggs, but there's a lot of different possibilities with beads or jigs or those kind of things. Actually getting ready to go to Forks right now, loading the truck up with rods, and got one more rod to fix up here. And I like to buy the Bomac torpedo floats. Get one of these out of the package here. You're going to see a couple things that get included with your float right here. These are very important. This is a bobber stop knot. You can make these yourselves as well, but I'm lazy. I like to just get them pre-tied here, and we'll pull out one of these guys and you put them on your main line like this. Go through. Now it's really important that you take the knot off above the little tubing here. If you do it below, your tubing will be stuck, and that'll be pretty annoying. So take the tube out, that's trash, and we got a bobber stop knot. And I'm just gonna pull this thing kind of somewhat tight right now. I'll trim it and tighten it more later. For now, we got that thing on, and the next extremely important piece is to throw one of these beads on. Alright, so we got like the small bead here is what you want, and the way this works is this is going to allow your float to not slide up any further against your main line, so it controls the depth that you're fishing. So this bead hits the knot, and when this knot is cinched down, it won't slide either, and that's your bobber stop. It is important to know what you're fishing with. For the kind of water I know I'm going to be fishing in the Forks area, 5/8 is kind of what I like. I could also go 3/4 or an ounce. So now we got our float on, and the next step is we want to put one of these bigger beads, because I don't want the float to stress my knot down here where it's connected to the weight. Now, the next extremely important part of this is having the correct size weight. I'm looking for a 1/2 ounce weight or a 5/8 ounce weight, because I have a 5/8 ounce float. It's important that these two things are balanced. Now I can be off by a slight amount because my hook and I may put a bait weight on my leader, and those things have weight as well. So I can be off by an 1/8 here and still be okay. Slide it down. All right, here we go. Now we can trim these tags. Now I'm gonna trim this tag up a little bit, not too much, because braid will sometimes fray. You can also burn the end here to make sure this doesn't fray on you. And then we're going to come back to our bobber stop knot. I'm going to wet it. And then I'm going to, when the tag ends are long, I'm gonna really try to give it heck here. Tighten. You could put one end in your teeth as well. Whatever is your go-to. I want this thing tight. So now I want it to slide with effort. There we go. I want it to take effort to slide up and down the main line. And now I can trim these tag ends right about here, and they won't interfere with my rod guides as I'm casting. And here we go. We now have a properly configured bobber setup. You attach your leader, whatever length and whatever terminal gear, to this end of the inline weight, and this thing will fish really well. Now that you know how to rig up for float fishing, I want you to know how to fish it. Pay close attention to the float as it's drifting downstream. You'll see that it is angling slightly forward. It is doing that because it is dragging on bottom. So I'm reeling up, and when I bring it back up here, I'm going to move the bobber stop down closer to the float, which means it'll fish shallower. And I want that float standing straight up and down to indicate to me that I'm above the bottom. I'm not dragging on the bottom. And I'm making the perfect presentation where the fish might be sitting, and I want to bite on the eggs that I'm drifting underneath the float. This is why it's important to balance your weight and your float, so that when you are fishing it correctly, after you've found bottom, you're fishing just above the bottom. Oh.
Nice.
How heavy is that?
That's about that's similar to last.
Yeah, a little bit smaller.
A little bit smaller, but still nice.
Really nice.
Nice shoulders, big buck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
19 pounder or something?
I don't know. It looks. I go 18, something like that. Not quite as long, but nice fish.